Good morning, traders. Paul here with GammaEdge. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of March. Let's get started. Pause your players here. Read to the very bottom. If you agree, hit that play button. Summary for today. So we're back to a red status, even though we finished pretty strongly yesterday. The cumulative tick on the shortest term moving averages is down. This is short-term bearish on both the day over day as well as the railroad track. Long term, we're bearish, so even though we did finish fairly strongly yesterday, we do see some short-term weakness in the underlying structure. The market is not buying in or did not buy into that end-of-day rally yet. We'll see some contrasting data here shortly that shows that there is a foundation, bullish foundation, that is forming, but price is not reflected yet. Market breadth, as viewed by the 52-week new high, new lows, had the new lows outpacing the new highs, but it was weaker yesterday, so read that as you will. Zero DT, folks, we have a lot of them in the Discord. You should expect guardrails at the classic numbers of 3,800 and 3,950. Above and below these levels will really be quite a move. Below the 3,800, it's lights out, and that will really embolden the bears. Above 3,950, we're going to probably make a push up towards the Livermore level of 4,000. There's very little in-the-money puts above 3,950, and so I want everyone to be aware of that. Interim levels there, 3,875 has got some fairly significant level, 3,890, not 3,900, 3,890, so 10 points below, possibly front-running. And then 39.25 are key levels that can be played against, and play those long or short, depending on whether they appear as resistance or support. Overnight, we parked at a delta transition in the balance of week SPX Combo. You'll see what that is here shortly. This is a fairly big deal. It's an area of low delta exposure in the market. The SPX Combo complex is heavily weighted, about 3-to-1. On the AM settled components, which we know our last trading day will be tomorrow, and they expire Friday morning at the open, or settle, I should say, at that price. And our proprietary metric called True Delta Zero TDZ, which runs in the Discord, and you can run it manually if you would like, of the AM complex is 39.20, and we closed at 39.19. So pretty good correlations there, and you'll see visually what that means here coming up. We are seeing signs of OTM puts, so the out-of-the-money speculative downside is beginning to vaporize below us, and this is exposing the in-the-money calls. This is a good thing if you're a bull, but we need to see the bulls really start to step up here and pound those in-the-money puts that are above us, and we're not seeing that, not in large. So that's kind of a mixed picture. So this is the first stage of the structure changing. It doesn't mean it's going to continue, but we are heavily we analyze the structure and what is occurring. We don't try to predict, but the foundation has to be there in order to move north. We've proven this over and over and over, and I would urge everyone to come in and understand this with us. Charm flows in the VIX. We are looking at that intently. We do see a decrease in the VIX term structure in the next week if we remain below the 30% level. This could be constructive for reduced volatility, and for those of you who are more advanced in your options thinking, you'll know that this will contribute to a positive flow due to Vanna and that possible push upwards. And so just given what we have there, just be aware that there isn't a direct correlation between the VIX cash and the VIX term structure, but they influence each other, and we think if we do have a drop in the term structure, it is possible that will translate into the interpretation of the VIX and how it's relayed in the SPX or in the SPY or SPX options. So taking a look at the market model, composite view here. Here's the short-term day-over-day instantaneous cumulative tick, and you can see it closed lower. So even though we finished with a rally into the close yesterday, the market wasn't necessarily buying it. So just be aware of that. The railroad track pattern continues its down pattern. It did have some weakness here, and then it resumed into the end of day. Since we evaluate only end of day on this, this would be a continuation pattern, a 6-day continuation pattern. Overall, you can see that the longer term cumulative tick is moving down parallel. This is telling us that any rally that does occur, if it occurs, will be in the context of a bearish longer term cycle, and we just need to be aware of that. Taking a look at the key gamma levels, green on the SPX PM settled. This is what we trade in the dailies, and then the combo level over here on the right. Now we did see the right goalpost go from 4,000 up to 4,200. That's impressive. The amount of calls that were closed yesterday and monetized at 4,000 was pretty significant into the close. And that has caused all of the deltas to move up, less negative, more positive, which is why we colored them green today. Put a check mark and a cross mark here. We are down significantly ahead of the weekend. From yesterday's CPI, which was up over 4%. This is an open high-low close expected move. This is conservative. This is for our premium sellers. So if you're looking to sell premium, if you can get it in these higher IV environments, look above 40.25 and down below 38.12. So we think you'll be fairly safe in that regime. Looking at net charm flows, the leading edge here is the edge to pay attention to, and what we're basically seeing is that you can look at the projection on this lower plane right here. So 38.50 right here, 25, the 75, and the 90 is what I talked about this morning. Not anything sitting at the 3900, and then the 39.25 and the 39.50. So when you look at the edge here, which is the 0 DTE, this is what's in play, and we expect a lot of movement today back and forth. As price swings up and down, these will either contribute to negative flow or they will contribute to positive flow. So we're expecting a little bit of volatility and a little bit of chop back and forth today. The PM complex is improving. That's the way to take this. So the nearly the half of the put domination that we had yesterday is present now for today. That's good. Transition moved down a dramatic amount. We closed within transition, whereas the exposure for the dealers in terms of gamma. When we close in this, it's virtually flat. As we indicated, there are parking spots that we're always looking for, and so as we see these out of the money calls start to develop in the PM complex, that's good. We don't have enough of them here really to create a path to go north, but things are improving, and so just be aware of that. So key levels today, 39.15, 39.55. We're watching that as the short term. We want to stay in that level. I know the futures are indicating an open lower, and you can see the gamma levels that are in play in the short-term view. 0 DTE, this is where we're starting to see some bullishness. Actually, today's going to, it does point to a slight downward pressure this is balanced though, so it's hard to interpret this, and so I wouldn't read too much into torturing the data here. The key takeaway is that we have a net positive expiry. So we have a lot of calls that are coming off today. We have a lot of puts that are coming off, hence why the gamma is balanced. We're right at transition, so transition did come down quite a bit relative to where it was yesterday, and you can see for today we have a lot of in the money calls that are coming off, as well as some out of the money calls that are coming off, and this isn't necessarily a good constructive thing for the bulls. What we want to see is we want to see red come off for the bulls, which means that we have net in the money puts and out of the money puts vaporizing. And hopefully, that would allow us to move up as the structure becomes more positive. We're not seeing that, so this is cautionary. This is indicative of, perhaps having some downside pressure. 38.50 is going to be a key number today. You can see that 38.25 on the quarter level. Not so much until we get down here into the 38 and points lower. Just be aware of these areas up here too. So 39.80 is the dominant expiry for today to the upside. Don't think we're going to get anywhere near that today. The 1 day, which is tomorrow, first of all, very, very small level over here, very balanced. It's really hard to draw any inferences here. Just keep an eye on tomorrow's expiry values. 39.50 look to be a dominant. 39.10 look to be dominant. So if we can get above this, this becomes out of the money and could push us upward. If we're below 39.10 into the close today and open tomorrow, then this will be in the money, and that could have the potential to push us down. Taking a look at the crystal ball using the combo complex, which is the AM and the PM settled. So first of all, overhead, looking pretty bleak. We're not seeing any presence for the balance of the week. I remember this is an expiry, but these are, structurally, these are here and they are present. We're not seeing any calls really come through, so the puts, in the money puts, are really dominating the conversation here. Note we parked right at the delta transition, as I indicated earlier, that 39.20, 39.19 area, which was indicated as the true delta zero for the week in the SPXA. Which is the AM settled. And then below us, look at this. We've got a lot of calls here. And this is meaning that the out-of-the-money puts have all but vaporized. Key levels to be mindful of today, 3,900, 3,800. You can see some areas of exposure here where you could get a rapid acceleration downward. But with this happening, it's going to be a little difficult to push south aggressively. At least we believe that. So just be aware of that. If we do break 39.50 for the balance of the week, you can see that it's pretty much free sailing. All of this will be out of the money, and it will have positive charm, and that could continue to push us north. Taking a look at the combo complex, kind of the same picture, right? So just be aware of that. Downside, we are seeing the out of the money puts being closed. That's good. To the north, no sign of the out-of-the-money call speculators. This is bearish. We need to see this start to turn green if we have any hope of moving north. We're not seeing that, so clearly in control are the puts, and they are remaining in control. That being said, we are going more positive, less negative in terms of overall net gamma within the structure. So things are moving out in time and less put dominated, but still you can see short term where things are at. Finally, just a couple remarkable changes here. So the 4,000 strike was huge yesterday. It got closed. Those calls got closed. That's pretty interesting that did occur. That exposed the 4,200 line as the new GEX level. Here's the 4065, which is the end of month JPM. Not really playing a role right now, but it certainly becomes an upside, blocking component. We are out of the money of that. These are short calls, so we are out of the money, and these are fading at the present time in terms of their deltas. The transition 39.30, 39.35, you can see what that looks like, and then we immediately are met with this 39.50. If we can get above the 39.50, should be free sailing. We'll just have to wait and see how things move upward. 3,900 line's pretty strong. The 3,800 line is really strong. More so, I always look for what's called a monotonic, or just kind of decreasing, linearly decreasing line here. And you can see this is really sticking out. So a lot of people who are banking on going down in 3,800, and until we see this get in line, we don't think we're gonna move aggressively north. So that's it for today. If you have any questions, comments, would like to kick the tires, go to GammaEdge.us. Upper right-hand corner, pricing tab, go ahead, click on that, fill out the blanks, come on in, 14-day free trial, everything turned on. Great group of traders. Nothing more to say. They're just phenomenal. Follow us on Twitter at GammaEdges with an S, and then here on YouTube, two things. First of all, if you like today's content, let me know immediately by smashing that like button. It gives me immediate feedback that I'm providing content that you find actionable. And then two, subscribe, because when you subscribe, you'll get notified next time we post a video. So with that, I bid you farewell. Have a great hump day, and hope to see you in the Discord. Thanks, everyone.